had breaks except for me.
Who's we?
I have.
You two are the only two that haven't had breaks.
D-Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to two. Oh,
All right,
I'm
bring
sorry.
it back.
I
Bring
fall.
it back.
I
We got
give me a
Fawn
cross from
and D-Dog here.
Mickey Mouse.
Another.
Mickey
What?
Mouse.
Explain.
Mickey Mouse set.
Say it.
Why? Why?
Mickey Mouse
Explain.
set.
Explain
Mom,
it.
you were getting all of your New York players.
I
this,
am. I am. I'm winning today. This is Mickey, Mouse
Neva.
set.
Mickey
regardless.
Neva.
Why is
Speak
this
on
a
it,
Mickey
Mickey
Mouse
Neva.
Because I love them, and everything they do is
What?
very Mickey Mouse.
What?
Can you
Fawn-
define Mickey Mouse, please? For
Them
the
two are Mickey Mouse.
He's just saying words.
D-Dog is a Mickey Mouse Steve, plays very crackhead crazy, but still has great results despite not being as technical, maybe not as technical as Syrup, maybe a little more brute force of a playstyle, I like to call him.
That's a good word for it.
He's very brute force, you know.
Yeah.
I like to call Syrup a more brains Steve player and D-Dog a more bronze Steve player.
Okay, I like that.
And Fawn plays whoever she wants, but at the end of the day, she will be playing Duck Hunt, who is a Mickey Mouse character.
Can I just say something about Fawn, bro?
Why?
Fawn.
Why is an insane statement?
What?
I'll just leave.
Why? Go ahead, Momo, because we're jumping into
Fawn,
game one.
Yes.
We were talking about Bracket before on the way here. Fawn was barely played this PR season. Fawn has been taking a step back and focused more on TOing, and
Yep.
she's in top 8. That's insane. And someone who's made this far with Duck, someone how high maintenance this character is, being able to make it this far is an insane feat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of Fawn's biggest fans in region. I think she's an incredibly talented player. I feel like Fawn really genuinely shines in brackets specifically like this. Brackets that come once a quarter, once a year, because she always miraculously does well at something like a homecoming. And people, I think, forget. And I know for Fawn in particular, she's a very patient player. And I think if it's anybody who's going to do well versus Steve here, Fawn can absolutely take this set.
It's, you know, she is a multi-character specialist, a multi-game specialist. She's been playing a lot of Tekken and
True.
trying to grind that game out. And one of the things that Fawn just is able to understand in a glance, in a moment, and across a multitude of different characters and games is just how to space out her win condition. Like, where do I need to be to land this back 2-2? Where do I need to be to land back throw into can into up air? It's like that level of just understanding in a glance and in a moment lets you gain a 100+% lead up against a very, very solid player. Of course, the problem with Duck Hunt will and always be how do you close out the stock against someone with just so much latent kill power, and D-Dog walks in with that brute force blunt object and drops the anvil on it.
Exactly. And again, I've been watching these two guys forever. And again, New York, we love it here. Staten Island versus the main city, of course. And D-Dog is just able to find so much value off of Steve just kind of being that character, but also Duck Hunt having one of the best up airs in the game. And Fawn is no stranger to abusing it when she's falling, when she's rising, whatever. She will find ways to kind of catch you in these other situations. And you can't really do much about it besides being forced to use the air dodge or being forced to use blocks in order to stuff out those up airs. And that's where D-Dog may falter in kind of falling in her plan of the constant cans, the constant frame 1 clay pigeons, the gunman as well. And here she is, double clay pigeon into a little bit of the up air, trying to put a lot of pressure on that platform on top of D-Dog. And D-Dog finds his way out by the skin of his teeth, and he's trying to get these up smashes he's so coveted for. Clearly his favorite smash attack, but the end lag is a little bit too punishable.
Yeah, here's the thing in this matchup that I'm really looking out for. It's actually going to be Can versus Anvil in particular, and what Fawn does to get around Minecart. So far, we've seen it once with Anvil and Can, and that was a weird interaction. I have to say, unfortunately, I am not the expert on Duck Hunt Steve, but I do have to say this is this is a really good matchup to test that theory. But D-Dog is going to be able to loop the Magma block, but Momo, I feel like Fawn is always one step behind, but when she's able to find that loose aerial, this is the second time we've seen D-Dog get into that high 150%, and Fawn able to make up the difference. But the problem is, it's taking a little bit while to get there.
I was gonna say, I think the idea, it's the same Duck Hunt game. The thing is that the Duck Hunt game plan is flawed against you. The whole idea about playing Duck Hunt is that finding so much damage at a time, getting you very, very high up, and then avoiding a lot of different damage. But the fact is that when you get knocked away, like, yeah, Steve's at 180, but then Steve gets all these materials. So whenever D-Dog gets back in there and finds 60% of the time and then takes those hits, Duck Hunt gets you to 180, Steve takes your stock at 90. And then D-Dog, you get even stocks, and wait a minute, D-Dog's got 14 million iron, he's got a diamond in his back pocket, he's got a gold in his back pocket. It just makes it really, really tough for Fawn to make up the difference, when usually, in most matchups, it works out fine. But against Steve, it's not really the play.
A bad matchup, this certainly is, Momo. And just like you're able to cut down so much of what Duck Hunt wants to do by the existence of everything that Steve spawns being permanent objects rather than Duck Hunt, who is constantly using items and have different item properties that can be destroyed or hit or bounce around. You can't interact with these blocks the same way. You can't interact with Anvil the same way. Everything with Fawn, instead of being long, drawn-out setups, must now be burst and very short, instant gratification, which is just not really how Duck Hunt's meant to play, and it's not how Fawn wants to play. It's a total antithesis.
You're absolutely right. And like you said, these items, they do still come in clutch, in my opinion, because I just think that the amount of clutter that you do see on the screen, the minecarts, the cans, the clay pigeons, the gunmen. I mean, yeah, the gunman can say, "Get down, Mr. President," and thankfully it worked out very well for Fawn enough. Where, it worked out for Fawn enough because she survived, actually, and able to slip at 120%. But to the diamond forward air, it's just not gonna be enough here. As she says, run it right back to D-Dog.
Yeah, that was, I mean, like, again, the whole point, the thing about that match is that that looked like the most normal Duck Hunt set ever, right? Like, it looked like that's how Duck Hunt set goes. Is that she gets you up a really high percent, it plays out for a pretty long time, and then you go either win or you lose, whatever. The thing about this, the main difference is that you see is that D-Dog has so much iron stacked up. And you think he's burning out, he's like throwing out infos, throwing out minecarts constantly. This thing, he has the iron to constantly throw minecarts at Fawn because he's constantly in the corner. Yeah, he takes like, what, 40, 50%, whatever. He's at 150, but Fawn's down a stock. He has a diamond in his back pocket. He's got all these materials. Fawn doesn't really have the answer. It's either one, you run in there and you find a stock early, and Duck Hunt is rarely doing that. Maybe you have like a cheeky like forward throw to forward smash, something like that, right? But the typical game plan is not working out like that.
I want to kind of like accent that point, Momo, that you just brought up, that we have the early game from Fawn. We know the 0 to 50, the 0 to 70 combo. We need the 0 to stock combo practically every time because that's where she's falling apart. Once we get to like that 50, that 150, all fine and all good. It's about these finishers that we really, really need. So far, so good from Fawn. And now I want to see what Fawn does to ensure that we get the stock before D-Dog is the one that's going to start stacking on that damage, because Ubel, that's a guarantee.
Oh yeah, every single time D-Dog lands any of these stray hits, you know he's going to take as much damage as he can at any given moment. What I do like about D-Dog's defensive play thus far is up until that exact moment, he had not been hit by a clay pigeon at all. And all of the quick stock, like instant bursts, like, oh, you're done, your stock is gone at 50 or 60 that you Lyric and Momo, you keep talking about, all of that centered on clay pigeon. And D-Dog is just not letting that button in specific connect. Cans, gunman, all day. Clay pigeon, get that away.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's really good awareness from D-Dog to make sure that that clay pigeon does not get any sort of value, because that's honestly the biggest part of, one of the biggest parts, may I say, of Duck Hunt's toolkit, besides, of course, the can, in my personal opinion. But there it is, that upper I was talking about earlier, she's able to finally find it in a closeout stock for that for the first part of the second game, and also set that can on that top platform, so D-Dog can really, well, we could use my car. I always forget that's always an option. And TT is also set up on the ledge here, so it forces Fawn for a very uncomfortable recovery option. But thankfully, the iframes do come through, but not enough iframes to secure away from that first smash.
It is really interesting that I was mentioning that like the normal Duck Hunt game plan is flawed against Steve. I think the idea is that like usually the clay pigeon part of finding the clay pigeon into taking a stock is like a secondary part of the game plan. Fawn recognizing like, okay, I can't just sit back and I can't sit behind gunman. I have to camp. So it's going through. Now the secondary part is finding some decent damage, waiting for D-Dog to come in to avoid the gunman, and then the clay pigeon is the main part of the game plan. So you're landing a lot more clay pigeons because Fawn's going for it a lot more, recognizing that's the one way to stay in the lead, and it's working out really well so far.
Honestly, Ugal and I just looked at each other based off the interaction between Can and Anvil, and this is what I was trying to talk about a little bit earlier. D-Dog, though, starting to kind of fire back, has diamond tools, and the up tilt back air. Tried and true, going to take Fawn's second stock away. We saw a much more confident Fawn, but I think ever since that super high recovery around the TNT, Fawn has just looked a little bit more uncomfortable here. Still, though, going to be able to find double forward air. If we're able to get this stock right now, I definitely see it working out, but now you're giving Steve with Diamond and a little bit of Rage a lot more time here, and Sheriff can only protect you for so long. Fawn now going to be almost down 100% before D-Dog has lost his second stock, not looking too good.
Oh my god.
Not to mention the utility that every single one of these gunmen has just been losing because D-Dog has been going out of his way to hit all of them as Fawn laughs it off. For those that don't know, if you knock out a gunman with their own unique animation, they take longer to despawn, which you cannot have two gunmen out at the same time, thus cutting
That would
off.
be so broken.
It would be so. It would.
Like double Diddy Banana.
It probably
times.
wouldn't be that broken.
It wouldn't be that broken, but it'd be something
Diddy
like
Kong
that.
Banana is insane. Like,
Oh,
We
yeah.
were just having a conversation on side stream about that. Diddy Banana's like top 2 projectile.
Yes.
easily.
Only better projectile being probably like Card Shot.
I thought it would be Gyro.
Or Gyro too.
Probably,
Gyro,
probably
yeah.
like top 3.
Well, like that's where you argue the difference of like what's an item versus a projectile.
Fawn
Like,
considering changing, by the way. And
I was
will
actually.
change.
It's funny. I was literally just gonna ask. Like, I
Will
think
she change?
I was gonna ask like you. I was gonna ask you. Like,
Ice Time.
you know, like
She'll
which
change.
character are like. Do you think Roy's a good player? Do you think is Fawn's Roy valid?
So let me tell you this. Fawn's everything's valid. I mean,
All right, all right.
Fawn is
okay.
valid.
She can
Valid!
Yeah! So
Valid!
she could pick. She could honest to God pick random, and whatever she lands on, she can make it work.
Alright,
That's
okay.
just the extent of her character pool, which is amazing. Just to say at least. But Roy being kind of an Oonga Booga character, you go forward, you go for jumping aerials, you find your win condition, and you poke people out with down tilt, and you continue on that push. I mean, it's an easy enough character where she could take it over in a Steve matchup, but at the same time also apply her other fundamentals of the other characters she plays.
I heard Unga Bunga has Ooga Booga.
Same thing.
What?
So
You wanted to say that?
it was like this is a surprise jump scare Roy character coming out of the coming out from behind the curtain and just surprising D-Dog with a random stock taken. And unfortunately for Fawn, it is going to be in the way of D-Dog at the moment. Unfortunately falling by the wayside and just like dropping down, trying to change up the tempo, but no dice.
I think honestly, on paper, the way that Fawn is playing this right now is a decent idea. Okay, like if I want to push the agenda, the advantage state, the Roy's gonna be doing a decent job. It's the fact that the main thing that D-Dog is doing really, really well is he's getting in for free. He's getting for free. He's finding so much damage in the close range, and this character is just it has that same exact weakness of Duck Hunt, where once Steve gets in, you're gone. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Fawn has to figure out a way to get this first stock off at this point. Honestly, D-Dog looks too comfortable. The material bar also looks real good. While yes, every character that Fawn plays is valid, it's just not looking like a secondary is going to be enough to take down this Steve. And D-Dog, honestly, just moving really well. Fawn not going to be even able to find the strong hit back here to even take this stock. The recovery is going to be able to prop Fawn up, and honestly, D-Dog can just freestyle it at this point. Going for the anvil drop, it does extend off the dirt block.
No,
the
not the
L
L.
is
No.
crazy into the up smash.
Fawn
and it
just
will
took the
be
L train out of bracket.
The D-Dog. Oh my God,
Don't
that
do it.
finisher was
Don't do it.
crazy.
Yo,
No,
yo,
that was
yo!
fun.
She gave him a fist bump. That's huge.
Does she usually not?
She will not. If she don't want to give you a fist bump, she will not give you a fist bump.
No,
so if
she
you get a
gotta.
fist, no. I have seen actual people get mad that she will not give you a fist bump if she thinks you play like. If she doesn't respect you.
Like what? Like
She
what?
giving him a fist bump.
We're gonna need an
At the
example
end-
on stream.
Yo, on the, there's
We gotta
many.
tone it down here.
There's many.
Yeah,
But
go
at the
back
end
to
of the
House
day-
of 3000.
Literally
We're
go
done
back to
with
Waypoint, House, any of them. She will not get some people with fist bumps. But Here, she's giving him fist bump, and you know what? That just means that you got it. Secure it for New York. That's all that means.
She did play very solid throughout the day, of course, like getting top 8 with basically no practice, like just going off
Yeah.
of
by the
intuition
way.
and skill alone and the hours that she's put into this game previously. That accomplishment cannot be understated. And, you know, dropping out at 7th place to D-Dog and Smurf Poster, 2 players from her region, not bad at all.
Tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah, not bad. I think my thing with you know what? How much scary Fawn. It was one single thing. If Fawn picked one secondary, she's so good at so many. She picked one secondary.
No.
Raps one who has a decent matchup into Steve. You picked one and grinded that one like crazy. Everyone is cooked. Every single person is cooked.
She wouldn't be fun.
True.
Yeah.
She just
that
wouldn't
was
be
so
fun.
valid just now. That
She
was
wouldn't
so
be fun.
real.
I do miss the Fawn Snake, though. I
The
feel
Fawn-
Oh, that
Huh?
was nuts.
I
That
don't-
was
I don't know
nuts.
about- I don't know about the Fawn Snake.
The Fawn Snake was nuts.
it was so cool.
A valiant effort, though, from Fawn, as she will be dropping out of bracket, like Montaneva said, at 7th. And we have to decide who is joining her there.